Hello, and you are listening to FPcast, the official podcast for Fruitless Pursuits, where we bullshit about the week in pop culture. I'm Luke.
And I'm Jacinta.
And this week we're talking about...
movies, television, collectibles, video games, comics, books, board games, and more.
Jingle bells! Jingle bells!
Ring-a-ding-ding, motherfucker!
Part of my personal favourite Christmas carol that gets a lot of play around here. Bing Crosby's Ring-a-Ding-Ding Motherfucker. Holiday time.
My neighbours are so sick of hearing it. They are so glad that Christmas is over. They have had enough of binging everywhere.
Bing-a-ring-dinging all over the place, motherfuckers. So, we're full of turkey.
Oh, God.
I ate some ham.
Yes.
Some mince pies. There's a gingerbread house from IKEA.
Oh, nice.
All sorts of stuff. This is Boxing Day we're recording. We're recording on the very same day that this will be released.
And if we do sound a bit weak, it's because we have been boxing.
We have been boxing.
We've been punching each other in the face. I'm feeling a little bit swollen on the left-hand side here.
It is an Australian Christmas tradition. I know we've got a lot of US listeners there that probably, Boxing Day isn't something that they're very familiar with. And we're smart enough to not ask if they celebrate it, unlike them when they ask if we celebrate Independence Day. Do
you know that they don't celebrate it?
Yeah.
Because many years ago, when Supernova would do things where you meet celebrities and whatever?
Yes.
I met Spike from Buffy, and I don't even know how the conversation got. It was like one of those drinks and dinner things.
And he's English, right?
No, he's American.
Oh, he's American.
Yeah. And I don't
But he was so convincing.
Yeah, I know. And I don't even know how the conversation got to it, but we're talking about Boxing Day, and he asked what it was. And we're like, it's the day after Christmas. And he
was his Google broken?
Maybe.
How can you live life and just not hear about these things?
I don't know. And we asked him what he calls the day after Christmas, and he said the day after Christmas. Yeah. And we went, oh, well, we don't really want to talk to you anymore.
Like, I'm not Jewish. I don't really know any Jewish people.
But I know what Hanukkah is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I've been living in this world for 40 years.
And I'm aware of Kwanzaa.
Yeah, you hear things.
Yeah.
You don't suddenly go, and he's got to be, about 73?
Yeah, something like that.
So you'd think he would have heard just a little inkling of Boxing Day. Anyway, if anyone's unclear, you do box. Australians... Americans like to express themselves with guns, with bullets, shooting each other. We like a bit of a punch-up. The larrikins down here, a bit of fisticuffs on Christmas. Obviously, people catch up with their families, and there's a lot of grievances to air.
Yeah,
so
just like Festivus, it's the airing of grievances.
Yeah, so people will have a little bit of a punch-up. And it's sort of done in rounds, isn't it? And then
it's like turn-based combat.
Yeah, and then the final battle... People, usually a family will invest in a kangaroo. You can hire them just for the day.
Yeah, you want the red ones because they're the big ones.
They're the best boxers.
If you get a grey kangaroo, they're just not going to do as well.
Well, you're cheating yourself.
You are,
aren't you? And I know Americans grew up on Looney Tunes, stuff like that.
Yep.
No getting a mouse or something and pretending that it's a kangaroo. No mixing the two up. No. They're very different creatures. I assume that because it works one way, it works the other way as well. But and the winner will get in the ring with the kangaroo sort of around about 5 p.m-ish. That'll happen.
Yep.
It's unclear at the moment who's going to be in there fighting the kangaroo, but he's pretty feisty at the moment. Hasn't had a lot to eat. Old Auntie Beryl's been poking him with a stick through the bars. So I tell you, he's pretty ready to
he's raring to go.
Get his punch on.
Yeah.
His name's Wertho.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can't wait. And
then
if he survives, we'll just take him back tomorrow.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, then that's dinner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We waste not, want not.
Barbie's going.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, because of course it's summer here. Everything. I noticed that on quite a few of my apps and games and stuff, because they have Christmas events.
Yes.
but they won't say Christmas. War on Christmas, hello. So they say, in order to be inclusive, they say holiday, but a lot of them are saying winter holiday. That's not inclusive for us, because
it's not winter.
It's bloody hot here, mate.
It sure is.
If you might be able to hear the hum of the air conditioner in the background. It's a bloody hot enough to fry an egg, the Australian sun, especially around this time of year.
Yeah, it's not that hot at the moment. I think last week it was like 41 degrees, which I don't even know what that is in Fahrenheit because it doesn't matter.
Because Fahrenheit's silly because 95% of the world doesn't use it.
Yep.
Yeah. Bloody hot.
Yeah. Hot as.
Yeah. Turkey just got smashed in half on the pavement.
Yeah, we don't even need to put it in an oven. We just put it outside for 10 minutes and it's cooked.
Just cooked there.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So Christmas was great. Got some wonderful presents. Got a lot of pop culture stuff that I guess is quite relevant.
Yes.
To the show.
As always, yes. You guys got me a whole bunch of art books, which is fantastic because that is my thing. I love getting, whether a movie is good or not, I love getting the art book from it. So I got the Moana Zootopia and Fantastic Beasts, which are all fantastic books. I got a few things from like Mum. I got like my last Downton Abbey book to complete the set, the collection. I got some, I have these like collectible plates that I get, and she bought me some of those to fully, really get going my transition into elderly woman status.
Yeah. So what are they, like members of the royal family?
No, they weren't this time. One was a particularly collectible one they're called Wedgwood Jasperware, and one was the one that was only available to people in this like Wedgwood club. She bought it on eBay, so it's very collectible. It's
not living out in the Wedgwoods.
Yes, and the other
they were
one
mostly badgers in waistcoats.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's why they're so collectible, because badgers don't have a lot of access to eBay. So when they do get a chance to put it on eBay, they're quite wonderful to find. And the other one was like a Australian bicentenary commemorative thing, and they're very pretty. And then she bought me a book about Wedgwood as well. Yes.
Crikey.
So I can learn about all those things. Yeah.
I'm getting Wedgwood just hearing about it.
And I got some other stuff. My nan bought me an iron, which is like the ultimate "you're an adult now and nothing is fun" gift.
An Iron Man figure?
No, an iron.
Hang on.
I know, an iron.
Ironic hipster book?
No, she said, "Oh, your mum said you needed one." I'm like, "No, I don't."
We once got an iron from our landlord who was living behind us in the old house. Yeah.
Right.
On Christmas. Here you go, here's an iron.
Well, I guess it's practical. I don't know, iron's purple, so at least it's like not a boring iron, but still.
I ironed for about the first week of work of my, and now it's been 8 years.
Oh, I iron every day. I ironed my t-shirt today.
You're a freak.
I iron all the time.
I didn't know about this.
It's nice to be tidy.
Then why did you need an iron? Because the other one was worn out so much from
ironing.
From all your ironing.
Yeah. Well, look, at least I have a backup iron now. Always be prepared.
Why didn't you try an iron two-handed, and then you could do it in twice the time? Half the time. Twice the time at first when you're getting used to it, but then it'll start paying dividends after a bit of practice.
Maybe.
Well, I got some fun Lego stuff. I got the Ghostbuster Spy House, of course, but I have all of the Rogue One main characters now in my little diorama, and I got the ATST, which is very cool.
That is actually very cool. I like that.
It's very accurate. Speaking of books, we both got the Art of Rogue One, which is brilliant, and also the visual guide, which is a bit cheaper. And if you're looking for a book to supplement Rogue One, the visual guide is really where it's at, because in the past, DK have done like a visual dictionary and then a separate cutaway vehicles book and a locations book. This is all in one this time.
It's probably the best kind of illustrated guidebook that they've done so far for any of them, I think. And
there are certainly characters and concepts in there that you will not see in the film.
Well, not significantly anyway.
Well, like the decraniated.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so the decraniated are people that are servants who have had the top half of their heads removed. So they've got, like, you see a lady and she's carrying a pot of tea and she's got a visor and, like, Cyclops, but everything above that is missing.
It's gone.
And they were done by a certain fugitive surgeon who does appear briefly in the movie, and it's one of his creepy experiments. We'll talk about all this stuff in more detail when we do our Patreon Rogue One episode, which we'll do next week, I believe. We're going to record that. Was the aim?
Yeah, we'll assess the calendar, see what's happening. But it'll happen before we go back to work, at least.
But another thing I really love in there, I mean, they've got pictures of all the pilots, double-page spreads for, like, Red Squadron, Blue Squadron, etc. Also a double-page spread of all their helmets.
Yeah, that was really cool.
But then some really interesting details, like we see the Stormtrooper doll in the beginning of the film, but there's 2 pages of all of Jin's childhood toys. And there is some really crazy shit in there, including my favourite character, Mr. Bad Goob.
Yeah.
Mr. Bad Goob, who's like a freaky, hooded, furry, baboon-mouthed, Babadook-looking creature. I would love to know more about him, and maybe he's got his own like TV show. Maybe he's like the equivalent of SpongeBob SquarePants in the Star Wars galaxy.
Maybe. Well, you know, the Star Wars movies are going to go on and on and on forever. Maybe we'll have a Mr. Bad Goop movie at some point.
Or is it Bad Mr. Goob? That might make more sense. Anyway, there is a Mr. Goob, and he's pretty rad. So, really good book. Recommend that. And you got me the Greasy Strangler vinyl. I'm really excited about that. I haven't listened to that yet, but I'm going to set up the little record player and do that. And the Ghostbusters, female Ghostbusters, little golden book. Just lots of really cool stuff. So, and I got the Hot Toys Civil War Black Widow. So, and the Resistance Hot Toys Ray should be here in the next couple of days. So... lots and lots of really awesome shit.
And what about your romance novel?
Oh, yeah. Now, this is really pertinent to the podcast. If I don't have it in my hand, I really should be... I'll be reading it with it in my hand. You got me a book of romance stories. Now, this is an anthology from local writers. And what's it called?
Rocky Romance.
Rocky Romance. And all of these stories are set in the wonderful fabled land of Rockingham. If you're a local person, just imagine that. Romance stories from Rockingham. It almost sounds impossible, doesn't it? Rockingham's not known for its romance. And Rockingham is where Sam Wertho hails from.
Absolutely. I imagine most of the stories do take place like in the Centrelink car park.
Yeah.
Something like, places like that.
The TAB.
The local Dome coffee shop, because that's very high class.
It, from what I read of it, having a little bit of a flip through, it's pretty crazy. I think there needs to be some dramatic readings from a Rocky Romance.
Yeah, and I do need to point out, this isn't a parody book or anything. Like,
no,
this is
serious.
A genuine, actual book.
And I don't think it gets too steamy, because when I was looking through it, there was this couple on a beach, and they were like, there was this sexual tension field or something, and they were just really getting hot, and then he was like probing her with his tongue, and they were starting to kiss him, but then they were like, oh shit, a beached whale, eh? And then they had to go and like save this whale, and there's nothing more romantic than the two of you getting out there and returning a whale to the ocean. And so relatable, so wonderful.
I know, so Rockingham.
So Rocco, isn't it? And maybe even Wertho will appear in there, because I mean, he is the Prince of Rockingham.
Yeah.
And if you were looking for a suitor, I mean, look, sorry ladies, he's taken, of course he is, but what a beauty. So, can't thank you enough for that. You've gotten me some real ripper reads in the past, like The Haunted Vagina.
Yes. Yeah.
And this one, I think I'll put right next to that.
There's no guarantee there won't be any haunted vaginas in this.
Yeah. Haunting experiences with vaginas in Rockingham. Feeling the spectre of that ill-advised hookup for many months to come. Okay, so that was Christmas. It was really great. Just on a more serious note, we probably should mention, because it's really the biggest pop culture news thing. Poor Carrie Fisher, of course, had a heart attack. We've been like checking on news about her pretty constantly.
I haven't been checking for Bingo Baby news because I've been so busy checking for Carrie Fisher news.
It's looking good at the moment. It's looking better anyway. She has gone stable at the time of recording. It's a difficult thing to talk about, because it's obviously time will pass between anything could happen between us recording this and you hearing it. But, of course, we love Carrie Fisher. And I say that beyond obviously, love Star Wars, love Princess Leia, but seen her live show, read her first book.
Yeah.
Just a really interesting character.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, given all the stuff that she's got through and survived and come out the other side of, like, she's only 60. It's not fair.
No, and
this isn't fair. You know, Harrison Ford's been trying to fucking kill himself for years.
Well, he made it. Remember the plane crash looked a bit bad for a moment there, and then that was all okay. So, look, hopefully there's a lot more from her in the future.
And the good news is they have let little Gary, her dog, into the hospital to be with her.
And we love Billie Lourd as well, her daughter, so she must be having a very difficult time as well. So hopefully that's all going to work out, because it is too soon, and I think there's a lot more that we have to see. And like, she's going to be in episode 8.
Yeah, that'd be fucked. Like, if she dies and then she's in episode 8, that'll be the most horribly bittersweet thing to watch.
So yeah, let's get her through it. Yeah. So...
Yeah, I mean, you know, Christmas hasn't been super happy for the Reynolds, Fisher, Lord family. They've all got different surnames. And also not very happy in the Michael household.
The George Michael household? No, that's not good either. Oh, no, you know, I had no idea he was so young.
Yeah.
He's 53.
Yeah.
Which, I think that's 13 years older than I am. It's crazy.
I know.
I thought he was like 77.
No, he's not quite that old. I think he'd had some health issues in 2011 and then was kind of on and off since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, still just feels completely out of the blue. And on Christmas Day, fuck.
Yeah.
That sucks. Anyway.
Yes, that's morbid. Let's talk about something uplifting. The Alien Covenant trailer.
Blood!
Full of blood and screaming.
Yeah.
In Fassbender.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk a lot about Fassbender today. And also starring... Catherine Waterston, who we last saw as...
That's a very confident delivery.
as Tina in Fantastic Beasts, and it was also we saw in Inherent Vice.
Yeah. In
The Nick, I might add. And I really like her. I think she's a really interesting actress, and she seems to be doing a kind of Ripley-esque role, certainly in terms of the look that they've gone for. And after Prometheus, this seems to be returning to a little bit more of a classic Alien setup with face huggers and actual xenomorphs and things like that.
Yeah, all I really ask for this one is that they just make sensible in-character decisions. That's all I want. Yeah.
I don't require people to be too sensible in these kind of films.
No, but I need them to be character, like, to be in character when they make those decisions.
Yeah.
That was my main issue with Prometheus. Anyway.
Yeah. The horse is long dead. It's got a forest growing over it.
She still defended Prometheus.
I really enjoyed it. I was very entertained by Prometheus. I think it's a great bit of fun. Really enjoyed it. I think it's such a pretty and just it's just such a great ride for me. I love it. Like, there is absolutely like ridiculous shit in it. Like those, I'm assuming you're referring to like those two scientists that are like, look at this crazy toothed penis thing. Let's pat it. And
when like 10 minutes before they were like,
too terrified to go
we're too terrified to do anything. Yeah.
But then there's just this wonderful, like, I don't know. I always think in these situations, would it really be a better, like, would have to be a completely different movie, I suppose. But would it be a better movie if they saw it and ran away? Or is it more fun to watch that, like, what the fuck are they doing? Why are you picking that up? Oh my god, what's this thing to do? And then the thing attacks, like...
Yeah, but you can still have the exact same thing, but have, like, a character that has been, you know, said as being, like, a curious character, or a science character or something. It just makes a little bit more sense than the guys who are terrified of the place that they are in to go and poke a fucking bee's nest.
I agree. I guess I'm really resilient to... I think there's quite a few movies that end up being reduced to a couple of things. Like, people talk about Crystal Skull and it's like, oh, the CGI monkeys, the fridge, bar, and Prometheus, they go, oh, why didn't she run sideways when the thing was rolling after? You know, they pick on these things. And I think, like, and we've talked about this many times before, you're 12 problems down, or 20, 30 problems down the track, like, if you're complaining about that. Like, if you really want to look at the success or failure of a movie, or, you know, there's something structurally, thematically, that's so much kind of bigger than these little bits and pieces. So, yeah, I hate it when everything gets just reduced to, oh, that movie, and they say the exact same three nitpick complaints that have been said 1,000 times each day by other people on the internet. Like, people don't bring anything new to it. So, like, the amount of times you hear that thing about the fucking rolling spaceship, it's like, shit, you've already gotten through so much movie by the time you're going to have your whine about that. Like, yeah, I don't know. There's something else there. Oh, you know, what we didn't also talk about is there's little Blade Runner tease as well.
Oh, yeah,
Speaking of Ridley Squat.
Ridley Squat.
Ridley took a squat, didn't he, when Prometheus came out? Fuck, what a piece of shit that was. So anyway, Alien Covenant, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's got
I'm
aliens
interested.
and killing and, yeah.
It looks on track.
Fine. It's got Michael Fassbender in it.
Blade Runner is more kind of like, haven't really shown as much yet, apart from sort of revealing that Ryan Gosling's there and giving Harrison Ford that almost Han Solo kind of reveal again of, I used to do this thing, and now I'm an old crotchety dude. But what I didn't realise is that it's directed by Villeneuve. And after Arrival and Sicario, I'm excited about whatever he does next, because he's brilliant.
He takes a squat.
If he takes a squat, fine. Look, everyone takes a squat occasionally. The great thing is there's hundreds of movies each year. So if a director takes a squat on one, someone else will slam a dunk.
Yeah.
So not really a problem. That's why I'm kind of calm about these things. It's not ruining any childhoods or lives or anything like that, you know. Plenty of fish in the sea, they say. Plenty of movies on the silver screen, I say.
There are so many.
And like,
an overwhelming amount of movies, I might even say.
I would say that, you know, a few come out at least each week. Yeah.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah. So, you know, don't like one, move on.
Go and watch another one.
Carry on, my wayward son, I'd say. Or girls. Your daughters as well.
Yeah, it doesn't work quite as well, but sure.
Okay. Well, should we talk about this movie that we saw?
I mean, we can. I don't actually remember much about it, but we can.
Assassin's Creed, based on the hit series, produced by Ubisoft. Yeah. The movie's actually longer than the amount of hours that I have played Assassin's Creed. So I'm not coming from a place of significant knowledge here. I think each individual ticket costs more than it would cost to buy the latest game as well.
Yeah, shit. I was bitching last week about paying $33 to go and see Rogue One in IMAX. And I thought these were discount tickets because it was an advanced screening. You get up there and the girl was like, oh, $29. And we're like, what?
So Suzanne came along as well. We paid a collective $90 to see the film, which is probably enough to finance the sequel.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah. So this is an interesting beast because it's produced by Fassbender. And
it's interesting the way that white bread is interesting. In that you can get something out of it, but...
So you got Fassbender, you've got Cotillard.
Yes.
And Jeremy Irons.
Yes.
All sort of in this thing which, in a way, is kind of a slave to the game. Because...
That you need to set up what it is and how it's all working. And that's kind of the... I guess it's going to be the problem for a lot of people because the most bitching that I hear about the Assassin's Creed games is they're like, oh, we don't want all the modern stuff. We just want all the stuff that's, you know, back in
just show
Italy
us the cool,
or Spain or...
Show us the cool assassin stuff from the past.
Wherever you are.
And I agree.
But they have to show the modern stuff to show why you are in that
to tie in with the game. Yeah. Except... It's very, very loose. And I realised from the questions I was asking in the car on the way home that I certainly didn't follow this and get as much out of it as everybody else. My mind was wandering. And the movie is 95% expositioned.
Yep.
Like, the characters don't have any life outside of this quest. It is all exposition. It's all driven towards the goal. It's also the most... dour, bland movie I've seen in a long time. Like, I think Fassbender is the only character that smiles, and he half smiles once in the entire movie. The other thing is this movie is about 70% set in modern times, so it's only a relatively short amount of time actually happens in the past with the cool assassin stuff, which is what you're probably there to see. And there's no real story. Like, I think he goes back in the Animus, which is the machine that takes him back into the past, maybe 3 major times.
Yeah.
In the film.
Yep. And
each one is an action set piece.
Yeah.
So there is, everyone talks Italian, and there are no...
the Spanish.
Spanish. And there are no characters built in that. Like, it is just action. So if you're looking for a story, character-based story or anything like that, it really is just action sequences. So the concept is that, and this is where it's weird, because the video game, I guess, develops this concept over time and can kind of get away with some fudging, but they're after an apple, the apple of Eden.
Yes.
That is going to... This is the corporation that's taken in Fassbender and going to put him in the Animus. And it's going to take away people's free will.
Yes, to eliminate violence and aggression and stuff like that.
And we don't know how it's going to do this. At one point we see this sort of glowing light, sort of dust stuff spraying out of it. I don't know if, like, they're going to put it in the water or the air ducts or drive around with the apple out the window and get people on the street or package it into Big Macs, or how they're going to do it. But apparently it's important.
You don't need to know that stuff. Yeah, it's fine.
And am I right in thinking the only reason... So Fassbender is the ancestor of this assassin. Their machine is going to tap into that assassin's memories.
Yes.
And they're basically...
they can find out where the apple ended up, because
so that's all they want.
Yes.
Is to look at his memories.
Yes.
Through an ancestor and find out where the apple is.
Yep.
But for some reason, they can't look at those memories, and he can't remember these things without acting them out and fighting and running around and jumping in real life.
Because that looks way cooler, Luke.
Instead of just, like, accessing his mind, he has to jump around on a robot arm.
Yeah.
I agree, it does look cooler, and it's far more interesting, but at the same time, they never really establish why it's important that he has to act.
They plug a thing into his spine. Like, surely that's enough.
Yeah, just plug in and get the info. But instead, he has to run and jump around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was all really weird, but my biggest problem is, because, again, repeating myself, I say this about blockbuster stuff all the time, a MacGuffin's a MacGuffin. Like, the quests are always bullshit. Like... whatever. But character will save anything. A good character, charisma. And look, these actors, obviously they have presence.
And they're trying the best they can with very little.
But they don't have characters. They're all very, very one note and very po-faced. And that's fine if you're Oscar Isaacs. But...
Oscar Isaac. Just one of him.
Oh, if you're happy with just one. I was hoping...
Oh, you want one each?
I was hoping we can have a few.
Oh, okay, sure.
Why not?
I'm fine with that.
Cloning.
Oh, God. I wish.
There you go. Well...
a little army of Oscar Isaacs and Diego Lunas running around.
Clones exist in the, Star Wars Episode 9. The Revenge of the Clone Wars. And they start cloning X-Wing pilots.
Yeah, and it turns out that Poe was a Cylon all along.
Well, he's one hell of a pilot, why not let him be the host?
Yeah, sure. Anyway.
I know there was a lot of gubbins, but more interesting than
Assassin's Creed.
We saw in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I think that... the thing really is that these characters aren't particularly likeable in any way. I said that I didn't remember anything from it because there's nothing really memorable about the movie. There's no, particularly great sequence or, any funny lines or any well-written lines or anything like that. And I found that, because we saw it in 3D, and there is a lot of... a lot of movement, like heaps and heaps of movement, and in the 3D I found it quite hard to lock on to a lot of that stuff.
Yes.
And it's a really, really dark and murky movie, even when you're in the kind of Spanish areas and everything is warmer colours. There's still a lot of like smoke and sand and all sorts of stuff that's in front of your face, and it just made it very hard to focus, because I think when we first saw Rogue One, we saw it in 2D, and I sort of said, oh, you know, I'm a bit worried about seeing this in 3D because it is so dark in that first half. And it wasn't an issue when I finally did see it in 3D, but this, I was just like, ugh. I would have preferred to have seen it in 2D, I think.
I think as well, just the way that the fighting and the action is cut together, there's not a great sense of geography at any point. Like, you don't get a real feeling of how everything's laid out and what the movement is, whereas Rogue One was very good at establishing... Like, you think about that final battle on Scarif, it's so clear as to where everybody is and how it works and where the Citadel is in relation to the landing pads and
helps
in relation to
by that aerial shot.
Yeah, but...
It shows you where everything is. Like, oh, great, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So these guys are here, and okay, sweet.
Yeah, you could map it all out, whereas this was really unclear. And characters... There were times even when I would see a shot of someone and then a shot of the enemy, and I would think that the enemy was in a different place and then go, oh no, they're actually staring each other down now, but a second ago they were apart.
Yeah.
So that sort of stuff. Because it's essentially about a guy that lives in a blue world that goes into a yellow world full of fast cuts. And there are some cool, like, parkour kind of sequences and everything, but because you don't...
There's a few little bits that I thought were kind of fun. Like, they have that, like, first-person view where they'd be, like, shooting something and it'd be like you're behind the weapon, but they're only very quick things, and you don't want a whole movie of that because you can play games of that.
But the problem was there were no stakes because you didn't... One, you knew that they hadn't got the information yet.
Yeah.
So they were going through memories. They were going through stuff that had already happened. So you knew that he was going to survive everything.
Yeah.
Until at least we had the information about where the apple was. And two, like, you didn't know those characters as people. Like, I don't think, as you said, about the conversations and stuff, I don't think there's a single bit of dialogue in the entire film that isn't about assassins or the animus or the apple. Like, there's nothing, they don't have lives beyond that. Whereas, you know, even like your big superhero movies and stuff now have a life outside of just the mission. So I think that was really disappointing.
Yeah. The only thing I did sort of appreciate, obviously, you know, it was sort of like all this repetitive anima stuff, and he gets in there and then he goes and, like, punches some Spanish dudes or whatever. But then then the movie kind of goes, well, look, we're still going to do all this repetitive anima shit, and Fassbender's still going to be hooked up to this thing, but this time he's going to take his shirt off. And I went, oh, okay, well, this is a new spin on an old take.
Yeah.
And that
really gave
it perked me up a tiny bit towards the end there.
Gave the movie the juice that it needed.
Oh, yeah.
Right at the end there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. When he... see, some of it was even just like a little bit comical, wasn't it? Just especially because you've got that caliber of actor to... have them saying some of those lines about the... And the problem is, like, it's not horrible looking or anything, and it was the director of Macbeth, which had both the leads in it, so you can see why they'd want to all get together again. And Macbeth was directed quite well, but the problem really just is the script. It's just an absolute nothing script, and it's hard to imagine these established, accomplished adults reading that script and thinking, oh yeah, we can turn this into something worthwhile, because it's just not.
I mean, even from that opening bit of information that comes up on the screen, I read that and I'm like, oh, I'm fucking lost already.
Yeah.
Like, that just made very little sense, and I was like, well, this is going to be fun then.
And look, we don't usually pick nits, but this is a funny one. When they go into Jeremy Irons' office for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
The camera's panning around. He's got all these different artifacts in his office. Yeah. And one of them is like a big sort of Renaissance painting. And it's before the Renaissance, probably, right? I don't know my history. But this like big painting, and when you see the painting is in 3D.
Yeah, there's depth within the painting.
Which is really strange.
Yeah, because
like,
that's not how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. It's like, has he got a pop-up scene on his desk of this famous painting?
Yeah,
or
maybe it's like that, what's that paper craft thing, like paper towel, where you would put, like, things in front of each other. Maybe it was a paper towel Renaissance.
It was very
Inquisition
strange,
thing,
and they didn't do it again, and you just got to think that the effects house just churning this shit out, not thinking at all about it. Just sent them that shot, and they went, "Oh, no, we don't need the paintings done. That's a painting." And they were like, "Oh, well, you already paid for it." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck it, let's just throw it in.
Yep.
It'll be funny." Mm-hmm. But I was like, "Yeah, that's weird." So, yeah, very interesting bit of cinema. It comes out in a week, so I would go and see Star Wars again if you're desperate to see something. Yeah. Well, in fact, I mean, if you're in Australia and you haven't seen Moana...
Oh, hell yeah, go see Moana.
Moana came out today in Australia officially, and...
the two movies that are coming out on New Year's Day are Assassin's Creed and Passengers, so go and do something else.
Yeah.
I think is the general feeling there.
Stay in bed.
Yeah.
Hungover.
Yeah, so I rated Assassin's Creed 2 stars, which I think is one of the lowest of the year for me.
Oh, yeah, I probably would have to say 1.5, to be honest. Maybe 2, because there's some craft in there, but I'm saying that in a strict, 2.5 is right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's definitely below par. And I would have absolutely no desire to ever see this again in my life.
No. God, no.
Yeah, there's just nothing to it.
But luckily for Assassin's Creed, because it does come out in 2017, it will miss out on being, worst of the year.
True. We're doing our worst of the year. We usually do most disappointing. And I don't know if we had particularly high hopes for this anyway.
Well, I did because of the cast and Justin Cazale.
Yeah, I did initially. You're right. I think the review, Rotten Tomatoes, since it's been smashed on Rotten Tomatoes, we knew kind of what we were getting into. Yeah, but then, Warcraft didn't do well critically, and we quite enjoyed that as fans of the game.
Yeah, that was fun.
So sometimes you can be surprised and go against the grain, but not this time. It was bums. Put that on your poster. It was bums. Luke Milton, Fruitless Pursuits.
Yeah.
That's why we have no sway on anything. I caught up on, just to mention some other movies quickly. You saw one, I saw one. I saw Nocturnal Animals.
Okay.
With Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal. And I am so mixed on this. It's a really difficult thing to talk about without spoilers, and I'm not going to spoil it. But will just say that as a thriller, it's really quite tense and engaging, on the edge of your seat sort of stuff. It's film within a film in a way, because a lot of it is Amy Adams reading a book, Never-Ending Story style, and it's the book that is the thrilling part, not the real world. And what's his name? Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Michael Shannon are both characters in the book.
Okay, cool.
And are probably the best parts of it. Amy Adams is really good. It's basically about she's split up with her ex-husband. She hasn't seen him for 20 years, and he sends her a novel that he's finally written. And she starts reading it, and it's this really disturbing, violent story where there are sort of parallels of them within the story. And I went from watching and going, oh fuck, this is really good. This could be this is at least a 4-star, until the point where you kind of get to the end and you kind of find out what it's all about, or sort of start to think about what point it was trying to make, and you go, this is a really problematic film. I don't know what it's trying to say, and it leaves a bit of a bad taste in your mouth. Okay. Again, can't say without spoiling it, but it's a really odd beast. It's a good one to sort of talk about, and I think it's definitely entertaining enough, if you get a chance to see it, go through it. It's quite a full-on journey, but some really great performances and stuff. But then, the sum of it all, it's very odd. I just came out of it I've never had something sort of having been so on board and not knowing where it was going to sort of reach that destination and feel a bit kind of, oh, really? Okay. So, yeah. But, this is Tom Ford directed it, and I think he did a really interesting job. It's a beautiful film and something to really unpack, and I think it's good that it's challenging. But, I don't know. I kind of want to give it 3.5 just for the craft. I almost feel like I should give it more because it's better than a lot of things I watch, but at the same time, it's I think it's a bit fucked up. And not, yeah. And in a more subtle way than you'd think as well. I'm not talking fucked up like, when you watch something, you go, oh, shit, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
More like, just an uneasiness.
It's Insidious.
Yeah, it's better than Insidious.
I never saw that. What I did see on Christmas Eve, I spent my Christmas Eve very, very well. I watched Spin Out.
Spin Out, the Aussie film about spinning the fuck out that we were going to see for a bit of a gag and didn't.
No, something else came out that weekend and we sadly saw whatever that was instead. Yeah, Spin Out's kind of an interesting one. It's a bad movie, okay? Like, this is a bad, cheesy, awful movie, and it is a shame that this is something that got a mainstream cinema release as an Australian movie. You know, if this is like the only Australian movie poster that people have seen for the whole year, that's a very sad thing. But I kind of started off almost enjoying it because it seemed like it was a bit self-aware and kind of taking the piss out of itself. Like, there's a character called Rooter, and the dog is called Knob.
Yeah.
And just the way they were taught, I was like, oh, actually, it's not good, but I am getting something out of this and I am enjoying it. As it goes on, it does feel like it really does go into that romancy thing. So it's about two kind of 20-somethings. They drive utes. And then the boy one does a trick that the girl one thinks is too dangerous. She's sick of his shit and she's going to fucking move to Sydney and leave his shit ass behind. And, and then it's just kind of a romancy sort of movie thing with these kind of colourful characters around the fringes. And the ending is quite funny. The beginning is quite funny. The middle section starts to take itself a little bit too seriously, and it did lose me a little bit. If they didn't... Like, this is a movie pitched at adults, because they do swear quite a lot in it, and if they didn't swear so much, I would think that this would kind of be just like a funny movie for kids or something. So I don't know what the fuck they are thinking with this movie, basically. I can't believe that somebody got a grant, got some money, and went, you know what, I'm going to make Spin Out. I'm going to make a movie about two Ute bogans falling in love.
The Australian film industry is a fucking joke.
It's fucking insane. But yeah, Spin Out's probably not the worst thing I saw. Spin Out was more entertaining than Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I can say that without a shadow of a doubt. I got a lot more out of Spin Out than I did Assassin's Creed.
But that said, would it be one of those things where, you'd be horrified if an American watched it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though, well, yeah, because I guess they may not get the feeling of self-parody that you do get towards at the start of it, but yeah. Yeah, it's a fun watch, but it's not something you can really recommend to anybody as an actual serious movie.
I do think that perhaps Rooter is a good name for the Bingo Baby Bundle.
Rooter or Knob.
Rooter Knob.
Rooter Knob.
Yeah.
Knob Rooter.
Because also, surely Rockingham has a red rooster.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Everywhere has a red rooster.
Because American friends won't know that.
No, I think there is a restaurant called Red Rooster over there, but it's different to what we have.
It's not our Red Rooster.
No, it's not our Red Rooster.
So we've got a chicken place here called Red Rooster, fast food place, and most people will call it Rooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Australia, because we can't say the full name of anything.
Yeah, because it sounds rude, Rooter.
Yeah.
Fucking, let's get some Rooter, hey mate. I could do some Rooter, actually.
I had some Rooter on the way here, actually.
Did you really?
I did.
You had some Rooter?
Yeah, it's on the way.
I fucking love some Rooter right now.
It's close to my house, and I got some little nuggies from Rooter.
Good. Cool blummy.
What a sweet tie-in. Are we going to get Red Rooster sponsorship or something? That'd be pretty sweet.
It'd be pretty sweet if we got any sort of sponsorship.
Yeah.
Actually, wouldn't really. Can you imagine? You don't listen to podcasts really, do you?
No. Oh, but I know that there are heaps of ads for Squarespace and
mattresses
and, shit like that.
and things, and you have to read out the copy.
Yeah.
I'd read it out for Red Rooter though, because they're pretty great, and Americans would learn from it about how great Red Rooter is.
Yeah. It's delicious chicken. Delicious chicken.
There was a redhead kid at school, and they called him a red-headed rat rooter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. Poor kid.
Poor bugger. Poor old Blue. And sort of finally, to finish it up, because I don't know if you know this, but I'm on holiday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I don't have 5 weeks at the moment, but I did have, because I've used up a couple already,
Okay.
but I've got about 3 weeks left.
Okay. How interesting.
But yeah, I had, I'd say probably 5 weeks in total. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so catching up on games, playing Overwatch. And late to this party because everybody's like, Overwatch is the game of the year. And in terms of like online-only multiplayer, which is something I'm not normally a fan of, because of dickheads, yeah, and the feeling of just not contributing or letting everybody down. I find it very addictive and really enjoyable, and I'm slowly starting to. I'll never be like a contender, but slowly starting to. I had a play of the day for the first time. I got voted like best player in another game this morning, and I had a game this morning where I had 28 kills in the game. I had the top kills. Killed 28 people, and I think it's because I've discovered. I was playing Tracer initially, and then I played a bit of Winston. But now I'm playing Soldier 76, who is an old man with a gun. He's like one of the easiest characters to use because he's just sprint, shoot, throw a rocket, heal, basically. But yeah, with him, I can do stuff.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, really enjoying it. Lots of characters, lots of diversity. It's got total fucking horrible voice acting stereotypes. There is an Australian guy who's incredibly rough, rat-like Mad Max kind of character with a missing leg who throws bombs. And he says, "G'day, cobber!" and stuff like that, which is pretty filthy.
Yeah.
But
Tracer's really...
Tracer is an actress from Yorkshire. I had to look it up because you wouldn't think it. But she's all, "Hello, love. I'm Tracer. Shine your shoes, gov." So yeah, but it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool game, so I'm happy with that. And I've got a pile of stuff to play that I haven't touched yet, including Dishonored 2, Titanfall 2. I've got the Lego Phantom Force Awakens.
Lego Phantom Menace, nice!
No, but it has a sticker on it saying that it includes the Phantom Limb character pack.
Oh.
Don't know what that is.
Oh, shit.
And something else. Oh, Doom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So it'll be just shooting stuff.
Yeah, well, I bought Battlefront and Battlefield this week, so talk about catching up on old games.
Well, Battlefront's quite new. Not Battlefront, Battlefield. Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Battlefront, obviously the Star Wars one, which, yeah, I'm quite enjoying. I haven't played any online multiplayer yet, but I have very much enjoyed being a biker scout speeding through the Forest of Endor and shooting rebels in the head. That's quite fun. And Battlefield. I'm just playing the campaign at the moment, and it's there's a really great Italian section where you're this like armoured shock trooper and you're just mowing through this landscape and just shooting dudes, and they can't really shoot you because you're in this like Iron Man suit thing. It's so cool.
It's like the Mark 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's super cool.
So yeah, games. But you've been playing a rather unusual game on the phone. Is this correct?
Yes.
I've seen pictures of this thing. I think it's going to be difficult to describe the horror. I do recommend people Google at least a screenshot of this.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I saw an article the other day speaking about a crazy Japanese app game called My Horse Prince. And
while you talk about this, I'm going to see if it's available for Android.
Okay, and I thought, oh, that sounds like something relevant to my interests. And so I downloaded it, and what the game is I believe it's kind of similar-ish to, what's that boyfriend game with the pigeons?
Yeah, my Hatterful
boyfriend or something. Yeah, it's like kind of a little bit like that. Except you're a young Japanese lady and you're looking for a husband or a boyfriend. You want a hot, rich boyfriend, right? And where do the hot, rich boyfriends hang out? Horse stables, apparently.
But brief interjection. I am downloading it now. It is on Android.
Okay.
But it says you might also like Not Fun, Vampire Boyfriend, Lust in Terror,
nice,
and Horror in the D.
Oh.
I think that's dark, but it doesn't fit.
Oh, okay. Syphilis. So you go to this farm looking for like a hot dude, and you encounter a very attractive horse with the face of a human. And you're like, oh my God, what kind of freaky deaky thing is this? And then the owner of the ranch is like, no, that's a normal horse. What's wrong with you? And then he goes, oh, are you born in the year of the horse? People born in the year of the horse sometimes see horses as attractive men.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And then basically you go on adventures kind of with your horse boyfriend, and you like date him, and he does fun things like, run in a race, obviously because he's a horse, train for his races, perform and sing lead guitar at a concert, because that's something that they do. And the bit where I'm up to now, I think I'm at maybe like chapter 5 or something, and another handsome human-faced horse has just turned up. So, oh God, the tension.
Hooves are clashing.
Yes, and it's kind of fun. Like, I was trying to play it yesterday at Christmas lunch without anybody seeing what I was doing, because it was not the sort of thing that I really wanted to explain to anybody. It's something you just play for kind of 5 minutes at a time and put it down until your sort of energy recharges and then come back to it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it just for the incredible bizarreness of it. It's called My Horse Prince, and I do recommend checking it out.
Download it. I've just installed it.
Nice.
So, and it's wanting to do all sorts of creepy things to my phone.
Yeah.
It's like, give me access to climb into you and into your bed and spoon you at night.
Yep.
Or just climb into me, as I was originally going to say. I'm gobsmacked at this sexy horse.
Yes, he's like this little bishy horse. So handsome.
Gosh. Kiki. So, there we go.
Yeah.
That's really Christmas in a nutshell. In a gingerbread house. We've done it. Next week is a special one because that's when we're going to do our year in review. We're going to talk about all our awards, our personal top 10s, our FP official top 10, favourite performances, moments in films, all that sort of stuff. Get a pen and paper handy for when you listen to that one because, my God, so many tips. Like, to catch up on all the stuff that you missed.
But not just the tip. Like...
The whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah.
We're going balls deep into 2016. And it will be 2017 when the episode drops.
Yes.
But only just. And it's going to be an absolute cracker filled with interesting, important information.
Yes, and maybe like a little paper hat and a poorly made toy.
Did you have crackers yesterday?
Don't be so racist. I did. I don't know where Mum got these ones from, but they had like practical things in them. Like mine there was like a tiny screwdriver set.
That
and
happens
somebody
a lot
had like
now.
a nail file.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. This is not what I was expecting.
Got a plastic bookmark that's like a clip.
Oh.
And I got a pad of like 3 strips of fluoro post-it notes with a little triangle like that you would put in to mark your notes or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is.
Like,
give me a plastic monkey.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
There's one that I still have from work a couple of years ago that's like a little clip-on moustache thing. Like it's got a little clip that you put in your nose and so you wear a little moustache. Where's the whimsy gone from Christmas? I don't need practical gifts. I know I'm an adult and the world is awful, but I don't need that.
But look at this little elf I've got.
Is that a Kinder Elf?
That's a Kinder Elf.
Yeah, right.
He's pretty cool. He's a dapper little chappy.
Yeah.
With his little candy cane.
Yeah.
Grinning like a goon.
I mean, we shouldn't talk about how fun Kinder toys are because of the sad Americans that can't have Kinder just in case they eat it.
Yeah. Hey, look, if there's food in front of them, they are eating the whole thing, regardless of what's in it.
Yeah.
So, definitely take care out there, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us all year. You guys are lovely. Go to fruitlesspursuits.com to find out everything that we're doing. As we said, we're going to try and get this Rogue One thing out soon when we can schedule that. We were waiting till we got these books, which has a lot of extra information as well that we can pad out that episode with. Go to Facebook, like us there. Thanks for everybody who followed the adventure, the advent calendar. That was a lot of fun. Rate reviewers on iTunes. You can check out our Patreon if you're so inclined. All that shit and stuff. And
Yeah, I was actually going to do it on Christmas Day, but I ran out of time. Like last year, I put up one of our episodes for everybody.
Oh, a Patreon one.
So I think I will do that today.
One of the...
When I get home.
What do you reckon? Like a BWB TV or something?
I was thinking maybe our Were They a Go-Go.
Oh, yeah, do the Were They a Go-Go.
Yeah, alright. So I'll put that up for like a day or 2 days or something like that. So everyone can have a quick listen, because I think we're going to try and do another Were They a Go-Go for Australia Day this year.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
So, definitely enjoy some Were They a Go-Go, mate. Fuck.
Get it up, yo. Watching the Boxing Day test and listening to some fucking Were They a Go-Go.
On the go, punch a kangaroo right in the pouch, mate.
That's animal abuse.
Kangaloo.
Kangaroo.
Kangaloo. Kangaloo.